list, which is on the bottom of the channel, so... wait, hold on a sec. £5 super chat from Gas Mask. I'll pay you... Wait, if I pay you £50, will you watch my Battle of Shanghai video? It's only 5 minutes long, or do you wish to save that for a later date?
Fucking hell, agree. That's a fucking bargain right there.
Absolutely do that. 50 pounds, like, that's a really good conversion
I should just change the versus everyone stream to watching another Lego video?
No, in fact, Kalono Gas Mask, I'll give you more. If you pay him, or her, sorry, if you pay her £100, she will make a video review of your content. There you go. Right there, see?
Hold on.
Easy.
No,
Easy
Sarah, you should
£100.
add. No, Sarah, take the deal. Like that's the conversion.
know,
One,
right?
the conversion rate on like fucking pounds to USD is like strong. Like you're gonna get more than $100 out of that. Two, it's like fucking $100 to make an easy. Like yeah, do it.
£100. You're gonna have to make a review of this video.
No!
Get
£100! £100!
Well, that's it, Sarah. We all know your fucking
yeah.
next video.
Yeah, get
Good
fucking
luck.
Yeah.
Start writing the fucking script,
Look, Sarah.
Oh
If nothing else, you're getting a lot of money to do it, as well as the fact you can monetize the video anyway and get even more.
Okay. What?
I will be taking half of that as your for obvious reasons.
Yes, I was paid to do this, but I don't mind talking about this video or in general Colonel's channel because it brings me back to the kind of content I was watching over a decade ago as a kid, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Gas Mask specializes in stop-motion animation with Legos, and he does pretty decent work. I used to watch a lot of Lego animations over a decade ago, and I'm a complete sucker for these videos because stop motion is my favorite form of animation. It was requested that I review his Battle of Shanghai animation, and I have a bit to say about it. Before that, let's dive into a little history because I care too much about history. Before and during World War II, the Japanese attempted complete subjugation of China as a result of its imperialist ambitions for more resources. Compared to the rest of the fighting in this period, the war in China isn't discussed as much as every other front during World War II. Oftentimes when I get into World War II discussions, China is commonly written off in the same sense as France in that they didn't do much to contribute to the war effort, despite that obviously being a load of bullshit. Since we're talking about what happened with Shanghai specifically, the fighting was far from a one-sided blowout. While the Chinese forces defending Shanghai were eventually defeated, they put up fierce resistance that stalled the Japanese for 3 months. The battle involved nearly 1 million men, and gave the message that the Chinese were not going to simply let themselves be rolled over that easily. Of course, the defeat did deal a big blow to Chiang Kai-shek's nationalist forces, losing much of its armored battalions, elite forces, and officer corps. Despite these losses, the nationalist forces continued to fight the Japanese for the next 8 years. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Colonel's animation. The quality of the animation itself is quite decent. It's smooth, and I like the emphasis on being as practical as possible. Rather than just putting an explosion effect on screen, Cotton Wool is animated frame by frame. And in this last shot, instead of using orange tip Lego pieces for the muzzle flashes, 2 frames of cotton are instead used. Nice touch there. I remember seeing people using a variety of ways to show muzzle flashes back in the day. TomJoeTwins utilized a lot of clay, while others like Pizza Movies used colored lines and special effects. I also noticed that the defending Chinese are using German equipment, more specifically the M35 helmets. Many Chinese soldiers are pictured during the battle wearing these helmets. I would assume that this unit of Chinese in the animation itself are probably some of the nationalist elite soldiers. Something to also mention, the Chinese also fielded 3 tank battalions, which contained 10 Panzer Is and their 3rd battalion respectively. No tanks are shown here, but it was something that I just wanted to bring up. Now let's get into the criticism. One of my biggest problems here is that oftentimes the animation is too slow. For example, this Japanese soldier is going for a bayonet slice across this guy's head, and it definitely needs to be faster. Not only that, the combat overall can be seen as a bit disjointed. The way that certain people react to others getting shot or other combatants making their moves can be too late in certain instances. By no means am I trying to say the flow of combat is bad, but it can definitely use some work. These criticisms can also apply to his other animation, the Battle of Warsaw, as well, although I believe the combat in that video fares better. Overall, Colonel's work is pretty alright, and watching it brings me back to when I was 11 years old and watching these sorts of videos being pumped out by numerous creators. 1 decade later, I'm now an adult, but I could give less of a shit about that. I've always appreciated stop motion, and using Legos is a great start for people looking to get into this kind of animation. I recommend looking at some of his other work as well if you care enough to. And that's all I gotta say about this one. Thanks for the 100 pounds, by the way, I really appreciate it. And speaking of appreciation, I'd like to of course thank my dear patrons. Big thanks to Queen, Gay Bitch, Spoken Mind, Danny Boy, Phoenix Heart, Coyote Lovely, Tudola, B, Hateful, Riddle of Lighting, DrunkleBee, and BusyRobotHands.